Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub. It's Friday, January 28th, final show of the week. We're with you, ready to break down the Friday NBA card. Skee Profit, Dutch Boy Fresh, Trot Wham. I'm Ian Cameron. We're ready to rock here. It's a big Friday slate. We've got 11 games to break down here on this Friday slate. We'll start with the LA Lakers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. We've got Charlotte 8-point home favorites here, 227.5. The total in this game. The Lakers, of course, back-to-back situation for them. They got not trounced last night, but going away, it got away from them, and they lose 105-87. They were competitive for a bit, but second half, it kind of got away from the Lakers last night in that loss to the Sixers. Charlotte, on the other hand, definitely a rest advantage. They played a couple nights ago, put up a 158 spot, and shot 54 of 93 against the Indiana Pacers in that game. Got to be one of the most efficient offensive performances from a team in a single game that we've seen all year. 58% shooting, 53% from three-point range as well for Charlotte going in with that performance against the Pacers. As far as tonight is concerned, we got a whole bunch of question marks for the Lakers. We know Malik Monk is out, but aside from that, we've got Russell Westbrook dealing with right knee soreness, and he's questionable for the Lakers tonight. We have Avery Bradley, a stomach virus for him. He's questionable tonight. We have LeBron James with that knee injury that he's questionable for tonight as well. And we've got Anthony Davis, again, briefly left the game yesterday due to a wrist injury, but was able to come back and still ended up having a pretty good game, a double-double, 31 points, 12 rebounds. But they're trying to be a little bit cautious. You know, the wrist's still bothering him tonight. We'll have to see if he plays tonight against Charlotte. So it's hard to bet this game without knowing who's in. If the Lakers even get LeBron in or one of the two, LeBron and AD, I might take the points because there's a lot to be laying with Charlotte. I don't like the spot for Charlotte. They played a perfect game, off the charts efficiency and shooting offensively the other night against Indiana. Usually when you play a perfect game like that offensively, you don't play anywhere close to that the next time out. I could see regression hitting Charlotte a bit here. So we'll see who's in. I lean Lakers, but I'm going to need to know who's exactly going to be on the court tonight for LA in this game. Skee, we'll start with you here, Lakers and Hornets.
Yeah, I don't have much on this game. Too many question marks for me to play side or total, so backwood game.
All right, backwood game. The over's the only way I would play it with Charlotte. I mean, it's a team that's capable of scoring, a team that's really playing fast again since they got LaMelo back as well recently. The pace has gone up, so I would lean over as well. Dutch, what do you think here, Lakers, Hornets?
Yeah, man. Real quick, salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in. You already know it's all love. Be sure to hit that motherfucking like button like I just hit that playing the Candyland X. Get you right where you need to be. Yeah, man. Also, share the video as well. Muchly appreciated. I tend to lean the other way here. You see, I got that North Carolina on today. You know, I think they're going to rise up tonight. I do believe it. I think the Hornets, I just think it's really, let's be honest. I know we got our Laker boys here. You took it light on them, too, and you took it pretty light on them. But they got that ass whoop last night, to be expected. My guy, shout out to Wham Bam on them Philly and got him early. But yeah, man, I think the Hornets is gonna be too much for him. I know AD's ass ain't gonna play after last night. Why would he do that? Just sit out and just live that moment a little bit longer. AD, I'm sure he will. Monk already that's a big scratch. Realistically, he been besides LBJ. Probably the second best, third best player on that team. So him out, that I look at that as a big thing. Russ, whatever. But LBJ or not, I locked this in at -6.5. I know there's a little bit of questions on the Hornets side, but I believe they're too deep at the guard position, and they're just gonna put it on these boys. This is the fifth game in 7 nights for the Lakers, not only and also obviously in a back-to-back situation. So I don't like to call these motherfuckers old because most of these cats are about my age or even younger. But we will say they're well seasoned. You know what I'm saying? They're well seasoned. Me and LBJ the same motherfucking age. So you won't hear me call this asshole too many times. If I do, I'm probably slipping.
I'm mad at you.
Yeah, man. But I do believe there'll be a little heavy leg towards mid third quarter, late fourth. And let's just be honest, man. These Hornets, bro, they pretty deep. They can really do it. I would like Hayward out there. I believe Oubre will suit up, coming off of a fucking amazing game. And you're right. You're absolutely right, Ian. When you drop 153 points and the whole team fucking just goes galore, you can only go down from there. But I believe it won't be too much down from there, simply because we're talking about an LA Lakers defense that just isn't that good, and I don't believe they'll have AD. And like I've already touched on, I believe they'll be tired. But the Hornets are 8-3. ATS last 11 overall. 13-3 against the number, last 16 at the house. They handle the business at the house in Charlotte. Lakers 3-6 against the number, last 9. 2-4 ATS, last 6 on the road. Fade the motherfucking Lakers here and load up on them Hornets. I believe the number has rise a little bit. Maybe we get LBJ in there and get a better number, but I was safe at 6.5. I believe it'll be a double digit by fourth quarter.
Yeah, and if it is a double-digit win, you'll still cash with Charlotte, even if you bet them now, because it's -8 currently right now with the Hornets. Yeah, Kelly Oubre was a big part of that incredible offensive display against Indiana, 39 points. Apparently, he's Kelly Oubre Jr. now. All of a sudden, the junior's part of his name. So I don't know. I don't get it.
He reunited with Papa, man. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, he's got to respect the pops. Yeah, exactly. Ode to dad, I guess. Wham, what do you think here? Lakers Hornets.
Yeah, I think they get him in, Kelly. I think Kelly does play. It sucks that Malik is not in this lineup. That's gonna hurt the Lakers, I think, for sure. But I do agree with you though, Babano. I think the Lakers may be the spot here. I mean, AD just came back, bro, and they seen how that little bullshit in and out wrist shit that they just tried to pull. Maybe that's some ways of just playing around with the injury report that they're trying to play. I think he plays today. He just came back, bro. I mean, I know it's a back-to-back, but he just came back. I think he plays today. And if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. But I know either him or LeBron is going to play today. So I think the 8 is a little too much. I like the Lakers here. I haven't played this game here. Like Skee said, this is kind of would look to be a backwood, but it's an ESPN game. I might look to the Lakers. If it stays at 8 and one of those guys is announced, I think it may be some fishy shit going on. So I think the Lakers may be the spot.
All right, we have Detroit and Orlando here. Next up, Magic 3.5-point home favorites, 215.5 the total in this one. So the Magic were sitting in the situational spot of all time in their favor the other night against the LA Clippers, and they still couldn't get the job done. The Clippers won that game. That doesn't make me all that thrilled to lay 3.5 with them in this game tonight against Detroit. I mean, they couldn't have asked for a better situation. The Clippers rolling into town back-to-back after an incredible comeback from 35 down to beat Washington, and Orlando just could not take advantage that night. I don't want to lay 3.5 here with the Magic here in this spot, but we talk about a Pistons team that comes in here not exactly playing great, but they've covered. They've hung tough in games. 4 straight covers, 4-0 ATS the last 4 games. The losses were to good teams, 2 to Denver by 6 points or less, both margins of defeat, 6 points or less, and then a 10-point loss at Utah on the road. So Pistons have been rather competitive. I'd lean to taking the points here with Detroit in this game. Obviously, from an injury standpoint for the Pistons, there's some question marks still with Olynyk and Jeremy Grant, and also Josh Jackson game time decision, but everybody else should be good. One thing to note about the Magic, since they got Anthony and Suggs and a lot of these key parts back to their rotation here, they've quickened up their pace significantly. They're now 5th in the NBA in possessions per game the last few games. So they've played faster, Orlando. It's definitely been something I've noticed in their last few games. That is definitely something you want to definitely keep an eye on. But when you look at both of these teams and where they currently sit in terms of the defensive end of the basketball court, Detroit especially, not exactly that great by any stretch of the imagination going into this game. Orlando hit or miss defensively. With the bottom line is, I understand why there's been a heavy move toward over the total in this game. 211.5. It's now up to 215.5. I agree with it. I think the over is probably a good way to go here. And if I look at it from a side perspective, I'd probably be closer to taking Detroit now the more this line moves up. Wham, we'll start with you here. Detroit, Orlando.
Yeah, man, this is a very interesting game. Pistons look to sweep the series. They already played this team twice, beat them both times. Seems like the Magic, especially after losing that Clipper game, they could be in a good prime position here. But the odds makers have only favored these two teams in combined 5 times. You know what I'm saying? So they're not that damn confident in this game, I don't believe. In my opinion, you feel me? So I think they are confident in this spread because they're laying it at 3.5. They're kind of giving a little bit more edge to the the Magic here. So I would understand that. And to your point, though, Ian, you said they're really fast in pace. They have been fifth in pace over the last 5 games as far as the Magic. They've been pretty much consistent with that. Being said there, I still think that the Pistons maybe just a little bit outmatch these guys, and I think they still win this game. I like the Pistons here. I think they're a good spot money line, just because I think they own this team. They already shown that they beat them twice already. Maybe just getting this sweep is more validating for them for the season here than you think. You know what I mean? So I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they up for this game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. No question about that. I'm looking at Orlando here. They're 27th in the NBA 3-point percentage. I'm thinking Cunningham's been going nuts from the perimeter lately. Cunningham points. Cunningham over made threes, especially something. He's got 5 out of 6 games. He's had, or 6 games, and I think 5 of them he's had at least 5 threes made. So he's been going off from downtown. That could be good for him tonight, points wise, to get rolling here against Orlando. Orlando, poor perimeter defense. Dutch, what do you think here? Pistons Magic.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy Paulie Walnuts, Stevie G. I see you, my guy. Appreciate you. Bang bang, Elliot V, Mr. Brasco, everybody in the chat, muchly appreciated. But yeah, man, we talked a lot about this motherfucking bum fight. Whoever said that about the bum fight was right. And Stu Chaos, big backwood. Please backwood this.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna be a backwood for Dutch this
and
game.
I know
Detroit and Orlando.
I know Ski gonna hit this motherfucker too. I know it.
He might. What? Well, Ski, you're up.
I don't know, man. I'm not betting Orlando. I know that for sure. They were in a big advantage spot in their last game versus the Clippers, and they couldn't get it done. So if they can't do that, I'm not laying no points with them. It's that simple. So it has to be Detroit. Detroit has the rest advantage in this game too. Maybe I can get to the window. They've covered 5 out of 7. I look at Orlando at home. They're 3-18 straight up. They're 5-16 against the spread. The more I look at it, I might be there with Detroit plus the points.
I agree. I think it's Detroit. If you got to bet it, I think it's got to be Detroit plus the points. Now we're asking Orlando to win by more than a possession. It's asking a lot, I think. Boston, Atlanta. We've got Atlanta 1-point home favorites, 217 the total in this game. Celtics and the Heat. Of course, the Atlanta Hawks have been a team that went through a really, really brutal stretch. Terrible basketball for a long time, and now all of a sudden they're completely going in the opposite direction in a good way. 5 straight wins, 5 straight covers, beating Milwaukee. That comeback is what started it, and they beat Minnesota, Miami, Charlotte, crushed Sacramento in their last game. So Atlanta's rolling 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread. That's not a track record I'm stepping in front of. When you start to see these teams go on these streaks, I don't like stepping in front of the streak. Boston on the other side, they've won 2 in a row against the Wizards and the Kings, and not just beating them down. So, you got to try to make a case for 2 teams that have perked up, that have played a little bit better, I guess, in the short term going into this game. You look at it from a lineup standpoint, Gallinari and Hunter are both game time decisions here for the Hawks going into this game. So keep an eye on that, whether either of them will play, their status. It looks like Gallinari questionable still. In going into this game, same thing with DeAndre Hunter for the Hawks. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on going into this matchup here between these two. I'd lean a little bit here in terms of the total here under, but nothing strong. Boston money has come in, and I get it. There's a couple key injury concerns for Atlanta, and they're playing better the last couple, but so is Atlanta. 5 straight wins, 5 straight covers. I still lean Hawks, but I want to see who's in. Nothing I've pulled the trigger on yet in this one. Dutch, how about you? Boston, Atlanta.
Yeah, man. Pretty much second whatever. Exactly what you said, my man. Yeah. I do like the Hawks here. 1.5, 2.5 doesn't make that big of a difference to me because if Gallo and Hunter are out, I don't like Hawks as much. There's no reason to bet the game, honestly, in my opinion, if that's the case. So I'll wait. I believe that's why the numbers fluctuated. If both of those guys suit up, I will be on Atlanta here. You mentioned that they've covered a number the last 5 straight. They're averaging 119 points per game in that span, right under 120. So they're clicking offensively, not just Trae Young. It's the whole fucking cast. And when I looked actually at this game at first, I really liked Atlanta because I see nobody on the fucking injury report. First time I've seen that in a long time. Then, of course, the line moves. 2 guys pop up real quick. Too good to be true type of fucking thing, right? But they've average win in this span has been 12 points, so they haven't made us sweat. They've been winning by double digits. Plus 4-1 ATS last 5 at the house, and they're 4-1 ATS last 5 versus the Celtics. So I believe they'll get the job done tonight here at home. Celtics are a fade on the road, 2-7 straight up, last 9 on the road, 3-6 ATS last 9 versus the conference. I could only look Atlanta here, and like Ian said, they've been clicking. They've been playing really good ball here. So no way I look Boston. I would just like to have both of them cats in there for my 1.5 to go to 2.5. Not a big deal to me.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel. I would play Atlanta before I play Boston here. Skee, what do you think here? Celtics, Hawks.
Yeah, it's tough. I agree kind of what Dutch was saying earlier. The injury report was clear. Now, I think Hunter's a big deal because you got to guard Tatum, you got to guard Brown, and Gallinari. I think he's a pretty big deal too. Also, Bogdanovich, he's not listed on the injury report, but he's gonna have a minutes limit. So all of that, it doesn't really make me want to back the Hawks. I get they've won 5 in a row, but I need these guys healthy, and I don't think they're healthy today. So I'm gonna have to stay off of this game for that reason.
All right, Wham, Boston, Atlanta.
Yeah, man, this is a tough game, man. Hawks number 3 in 3-point percentage so far this season. It seemed like right now there's no reason to bring things up because, like you guys mentioned, this guy's in and out the lineups. You don't really know what to think. They're streaky though. They won 5 games. You know what I mean? 5 straight games. I think this Hawks team could win this game for sure. I think it's a toss up. That's the reason why it's a short line here. No real trends really back this scenario either for the Hawks. I just think the Hawks would win this game. I just don't want to bet it here. So it's a backwood for me. You can put that up for me, Big Show. I talk too much, bro.
There you go, backwood for Wham in this one. All right, Clippers and Heat next up. Miami 7-point home favorites, 210.5 the total in this one. The Clippers, nice road trip so far, right, for the Clippers. They were down 35 at Washington. They come back, one of the biggest comebacks / collapses from a Washington standpoint of the season, to come back and win that game 116-115. And then on a back-to-back in Orlando, which we just talked about, how did the Magic not take advantage of that? They didn't. Give the Clippers credit. 111-102 victory in that game. 5 players in double figures: Bledsoe, Kennard, Coffey, Batum, Terrence Mann as well. So it was really everybody stepping up for the Clippers. What's impressive is this team's still without Paul George. We know Kawhi's been out all year. Marcus Morris is away from the team for personal matters tonight for this game. So they're finding ways, but you have to also keep in mind who they played. Washington can't get out of their own way right now, and they played Orlando, who's not very good. This is, as Dutch will often say, levels to this shit. Guess who they got to play tonight? Miami Heat now, who are just a house of fire, no pun intended. They're just rolling at the moment, beat wire to wire against the Knicks. They got out to an early lead against New York. They never gave the Knicks an indication like, hey, we're in this basketball game. That was a complete and utter control job from start to finish by the Heat against the Knicks. Complete control. They win by 14. They beat the Lakers before that. They had one tough loss against Atlanta, but other than that, they played some really good basketball. They're also finally starting to get at least a little bit healthier. Now, tonight, there are some questions. Kyle Lowry's not going to play tonight for the Miami Heat in this game tonight. He'll be out. Jimmy Butler, it looks like right now, questionable with a toe injury, a left toe irritation, apparently. So it's a sore toe, apparently, for Jimmy Butler. Now, question is with the Raptors, I believe they play Toronto on a back-to-back tomorrow night. So are they going to end up saving him for that game? That remains to be seen. That's the only thing I'm waiting on, maybe, is Butler and whether he plays, because I'm definitely itching. I got an itchy trigger finger here. I'm itchy to pull the trigger on Miami here, laying the 7, because I think it's a brutal spot for the Clippers. This is going to be their 5th game in 8 days. That's a lot of games in a short period of time for the Clippers going into this one. And this ain't Orlando or Washington tonight that they're playing. So could be a smackdown spot for Miami, but I'd like it more if we know Jimmy Butler's in the game. Skee, what do you think here, Clippers and Heat?
Yeah, I don't feel super strong, but I would probably agree with you. I don't like that Miami plays tomorrow. Maybe that's why some of these guys are on the injury report. And but the thing, I just Miami at home. That's been where they play their best basketball. They've won 5 of their last 6. They're 17-5 at the house and 14-8 against the spread. So it'll be Heat or pass for me. I just didn't get to the window with the Heat myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm mad that I didn't take the Heat the other night against the Knicks. I was leaning Heat, and I ended up not betting it. So kind of want to make up for that tonight. But let's see if Butler plays here. Dutch, how about you here? LA, Miami.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy Sweaty Butcher. I see you, my dude. Jacksonville Zoe in the chat. I see you, bro. THC RZA. And of course, I got our guy Sam Comer. Sam I am. Always with the great energy, my man. He said that a like button work. Does your guys' like button work? I dig it, my guy. Does that motherfucker work? Because y'all ain't showing it, man. Hit that motherfucker like button real quick, like. But yeah, man. I appreciate it. And also follow Sam Comer on Twitter, man. He's been locking them, loading them, man. He's been knocking them down. So he's a good follow as well. Don't sleep on him. But yeah, man, this is kind of like the same thing as Atlanta. I really want to bet the Knicks here. I mean, excuse me, the Heat here. But at the same time, I was, questioning the Jimmy. I need Jimmy out there, but I don't believe Kyle Lowry's an issue because they've been without him. And then the back-to-back situation is a little. But if Jimmy plays, we're gonna take that late at 7 all day. No problem. 4-0 ATS last 5 at the house as a home favorite. Skee gave you all the other good numbers. They're 9-2 against the number last 11 overall. So I mean, we really don't need to overthink it too much. Miami, if you bet them, you fucking win an awful lot of the fucking time. And then, you touched on it, Ian, about the tiredness, the Clippers. They've been on the road. This is the 4th game in 5 nights, so they're a tired bunch without their horses. And, these guys have actually, I looked into it, have beat Miami the last 6 times straight up. So I think, as long as that pit bull Jimmy Butler's out there, I think they'll probably want to show up. Regardless, I believe it, but I'll be able to put my money on it if Jimmy Buckets is out there. So I definitely have a strong lean to the Heat, but I'm right with you, Ian. I need Jimmy out there.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's right there with Memphis, Charlotte, best ATS teams in the NBA this year. I mean, teams that have, covered the most point spreads. I mean, Memphis is right up there. Cleveland's right up there. And so is Miami. So it's never a bad thought to say, hey, let's bet Miami, especially this year with the way they're playing. Wham, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I like the Clippers here, bro. I like the Clippers here, man.
Clippers.
It's just what it is, bro. I need to get a haircut my damn self. You feel me? It's only right. The Heat, so they're top 4. They're 4th in defensive rating, playing pretty good defense. This is obviously with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. I even think the bruise for the kid, the shoe dude, PJ has something wrong with him as well. But they're still allowing. They're that good in defense. They're still allowing the 27th highest, the 3rd highest 3-point percentage to opponents, 39%. This team in the Clippers, I'm sorry, they're shooting 38% over the last 5 games in that same span. So I think that if they can just get their shots off, man, wall out here, man, they're going to cover this game. I like the Clippers here. I think Ty Lue's been a phenomenal job here, bro. As far as sitting those guys in the fucking second half, bro, coming out with the bench in the second half. I mean, no other coach is doing shit like that. So I like to go with those type of coaches. I think in this game, they're probably going to be playing up, even though they're having a tough schedule. They've been having a tough schedule from what I've been following since late December. So, we're in the middle of the January now. We're towards the end of January. You feel me? So it's been a while since they had the consistency behind Paul George, all those other guys. And we're going to also go over 12.5 Amir Coffee, even money with the points. We're going to keep going with that. We hit it the last time. We're going to keep doing that there. And then as far as the like button, man, come on. Like my guy Sam said, 50 likes to go, bro. Come on, man. Don't be lazy. It's only right, bro. Y'all love us out here. We doing nothing but
you guys even got Ron Crawford in here shouting you guys out to get the likes.
Shout out to Ron Crawford.
There you go.
Man.
Exactly. Yeah,
Shout out to Ron Crawford. We appreciate you.
Yep, there we go. Hit that like button. 258 live viewers. Hit that like button. Make sure you get on that. Portland and Houston. Portland 3.5-point road favorites. 234.5 the total in this one. Yeah, hit that. Get on that like button. Like I'm going to get on the over in this game here. Blazers and Rockets. Who's going to play defense in this game? I'm not so sure who that is. You look at these two teams defensively. Hideous. You're talking about dead last in efficiency defensively, the Houston Rockets, and they showed it the last game. What do you give up? 134 at home against San Antonio. It's absolutely brutal. Portland's not that much better, 27th in the NBA in efficiency. Portland's actually gone quicker pace-wise the last few games. They've sped it up. Houston's always been consistently, top 5, top 10 team in possessions per game this year as well. So it's two teams that'll probably get the ball up and down the court. It's two teams that are better offensively than defensively. Yeah, it's a high total, but I think it's got a pretty good chance of getting up and over that number. We saw Portland the other night, 132 to 112. 244 in their game against Dallas. We saw Houston, San Antonio, 238 points in that game. Probably see something similar tonight. High total, but high for a reason. I still like it over the number. Wham, what do you think here? Blazers, Rockets. No, you're muted.
I'm muted, bro. I'm muted. Trying to gather my thoughts here, y'all. No, I'm just playing. No, okay. So, yeah, bro. So this is a backwood for me, man. I just don't trust either one of these teams, man. It's a tough game, bro. It's a tough game. We got another game to talk about here, so I'll just leave it to that.
Nothing wrong with that. Skee, Portland, Houston.
Yeah, some days I like a lot, man. Some days not so much. And I don't like this game right here. So backwood for me.
All right, Dutch.
Man, do not pass me this bullshit. This that Reggie Brown straight from the backwood, boy. I do not want this. You can leave it up. Keep it going, my man. Next.
There you go. It's over and a bunch of backwoods for the NBA Pub Hub crew on the Blazers and the Rockets here in this one. Yeah, it's not a good game. I'd actually take Houston before I lay points with Portland on the road. But I don't like the idea of taking Houston either. So I'm just going to stick to both teams doing what they do, scoring and not playing defense. And I think we'll see that. Utah, Memphis. We got Memphis 5-point home favorites, 226 the total. I like the Grizz here. I mean, if you've been fading Utah, you've been cashing consistently here. This team's got issues. They got problems. They have not been since they've had guys in and out. They've had the Aussie Joe Ingles in and out. They've had obviously Royce O'Neal in and out. They've had Bogdanovich in and out, Mike Conley in and out, though he just came back. Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell are still out for the Utah Jazz, and they've just been disjointed for a long period of time now in terms of their play on the basketball court. How about 2-7-1 against the spread for the Jazz in the last 10 games? I mean, they've been just money burners for their backers during this stretch. And if you go back even further than that, it's really been bad for the Jazz. You go back to December 17th, this Utah Jazz team, they've covered a grand total of 5-point spreads, 5, since the middle of December. I mean, that's not good at all for Utah. Now they're getting a dog price, though, and you're seeing some spots now where they're catching points, and they've, and like the Phoenix game in Phoenix earlier this week. They were a 12-point dog in Phoenix. They lost by 6. They did cover in that one. So part of me says, yeah, Utah, now that they're a dog, maybe they'll start covering some numbers. But right now, to me, Memphis is just better at the moment. They've been absolutely terrific. We know that. It's been one of the hottest teams in the NBA during this stretch. You look at their lineup going into tonight. They're starting to get healthier, having Desmond Bane come back recently. Significant. Jaren Jackson as well. Still without Anderson and Brooks. The Grizzlies, but still been able to overcome that here. And until further notice, Utah is a one-way team for me, fade or pass. And tonight I will lay it with Memphis here. Dutch, what do you think? Grizzlies hosting the Jazz.
Yeah, man. I really like Grind City. I can fuck with Grind City a lot, man. I like what I'm seeing, and I agree with a lot of what you said, Ian, as well. But let me tell you right now, these motherfucking Utah Jazz ain't doing shit until they get their studs back, and that's of course Spider, Donovan Mitchell, and of course Rudy Gobert. And both of these guys will be out tonight, so let's take advantage of it. I don't know what the number is now, but I did lock in the 3.5. I believe it has moved because it was already at 4 every other spot. But I took advantage of the 3.5. I think, I really think this will be a double-digit game, honestly, by the fourth quarter. Bane's back, and that's a big piece. But, obviously the Grizz, they handle business. They've been handling business. But this really comes down to no Mitchell, no Gobert. Now, November 22nd, these two teams did play. The Grizz won in Utah as 11-point dog with a healthy Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. The Jazz shot better from the field, 47%, and from three-point line, 39%, and still lost that game. And they were most likely because they were out-rebounded, and the Grizz only had 7 turnovers. So, I mean, now they're at the house. I just look for this to continue. I do believe they are the better team. It's a question: is it who's the better team? I believe when they're fully healthy. To be honest with you, because the way that Grind City competes, I think they'll give them a run for their money. But right now, without those two studs in there, this should be a double-digit game, no problem. We talked about the ATS; they're 2-8 and 1 last 11 versus the number Utah. So if you're fading the motherfucking Utah Jazz, you're reading motherfucking real good. The Jazz are also 1-5 straight up last 6, 2-9 overall straight up in the last 11. They don't win basketball games. The number is getting a little higher than just asking to win, but it's still fucking pretty low in my opinion. The Grizz 11-3 against the number last 14. I believe they'll continue to cover the number very easily tonight at the house. I love it. Where's the number at right now, Ian?
-5.
All right, yeah, that's good
5.
money. Yeah, the five piece is a beautiful thing.
I don't know who's slowing down John Morant for the Jazz either. He's got 33, 38, 35, 41 in his last 4 games. He put up 32 when he faced Utah earlier this season. I think you take Morant prop again. That was one of my best bets on the show the other night against when they played San Antonio. I like John Morant over the points. I like it tonight. I'm not using it for best bet tonight, but I still like that prop again. John Morant over points tonight.
Real quick, Ian, my fault. That reminds me. I have this down. And I like Morant too, but it's 28.5. It's a little high for me. But a prop I do like an awful lot in this game is Jaren Jackson over 17.5 points. I just went over this number 3 of the last 4. Now he had 26 earlier in the meeting versus him in the game I talked about where they won outright as a dog, 11-point dog with Gobert out there. I like Jaren Jackson. Look for him to attack. Can knock down the open 3 if he's long, but don't get carried away chucking it up. But over 17.5 points should be good money.
Yeah, I think I might jump in on the over too, because I just remembered this is Utah-Memphis. Whether it's these two teams in the regular season, whether it's these two teams when they met in the playoffs last year, the one common thread has been overs. It's just been constant with these two teams head to head. And like I say, I think Utah is going to have a hard time trying to slow down John Morant, among others, tonight. And again, this total is in the 226 range. I could see it getting to high 220s into the 230s. I could see that. And certainly series history, we're at we are at 6 straight overs in the head-to-head, 9-1 in the last 10 meetings between the Jazz and the Grizzlies have gone over the total. So I know Starchild asking about the total. Yeah, over. I wouldn't want under in this matchup. Skee, how about you here? Utah-Memphis.
I think the one thing you're missing though is Donovan Mitchell is a big part of all those overs. But
that's true. Yeah,
I would be on Memphis. I just don't want to play teams like in the spot where one team plays tomorrow and the other one doesn't. Like Memphis has a game tomorrow. They could try to save some of their energy for that. So I just like to stay away from those games. But other than that, it does look like Memphis.
Yeah, and for Utah, when you look at their schedule, I wanted to bring this up too. This is their 5th game in 8 nights, just like it is for the Clippers tonight. And when you look at this 5 games in 8 days for Utah, home to Detroit, travel to Golden State, travel to Phoenix, travel back home to play Phoenix, and now you're traveling back on the road again. So it's a travel spot in between each of these games. So very, very tricky. You worry about whether they're the energy's there tonight for Utah a little bit with that kind of rigorous schedule. Indiana, Oklahoma City. Now we've got pretty much pick 'em here, both sides. 219.5 the total in this game. Of course, the Pacers were on the losing end of that loss to Charlotte the other night, where they just could not stop the Hornets. They give up 54 of 93, 158 points. It's now 3 straight losses here for the Pacers. Thunder have lost 6 in a row going into this game. Pacers are kind of an under team. Pacers are kind of an over team. Thunder are kind of an under team. The Pacers you would think are going to probably, want to dig in a little bit defensively tonight, but whether they do enough to win, that remains to be seen. OKC's kind of struggling. Don't have much interest backing either side. So this is a backwood for me. We can put it up on the screen right now. Not going to be involved in this one. Dutch, Indiana, OKC.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy, Mark Nick, Mr. H-Town. I see you, my guy, Kyle. Of course, Mr. Ron Crawford, too. I believe one of the spreadsheet plays is the day. It's not a top spreadsheet, but it's a spreadsheet play of the day that is on the Grizzlies as well, too. And also the Knicks. We'll get to that later just in case I forget. But big shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. It's a beautiful thing. But, yeah, man, you already know where I'm going with this motherfucker. Backwood, please.
There you go. Backwood time. Wham.
I'll
How
let
about
the
you?
Thunder buddies fight it out. I'm surprised you ain't on it, Bobano.
No Thunder buddy for me tonight. The Thunder are the Thunder are crashing through my roof right now and have done damage to me. So I'm not getting.
We'll leave it to the other two.
I ain't mad at you.
Wham.
Just to clarify, I didn't get to speak on that last game. I'm just gonna say I do like the Desmond Bain over 18.5 points.
I missed you. Oh shit.
No, you good, bro. You good.
Come on, Wham,
I was just waiting my turn. I was just gonna wait my turn, champ. I was just gonna wait my turn. It was 13. It was 13 games. He's hit 9 of the last 13 games, man, in this 18 points. So I think he's going to get to this number. Also, something sneaky there for Desmond Bain, over 2.5 assists at -110. That is something else that he's been hitting at a pretty good rate. So I do like those two plays. But as far as the this game, it's a backwood for me. I'm not the Thunder buddy today, bro. I'm gonna stay away from the Thunder. You feel me? I'm gonna stay away from the Thunder. Even though I do think that they can live up to it, and I do like Lou Dort over threes. I think he gets to it today, but I'm gonna stay away from any side of total anything. Just stay away.
All right. How about you, Skee, with Pacers Thunder?
I'll be the one.
There we go.
Yeah, where's this line at right now? It opened with the Thunder as a
Thunder were -1. Pacers are now -1. So a flip of favorites.
Yeah, and I just feel like the way it opened, they're kind of begging you to take the Pacers in this game. OKC has lost 6 in a row at least.
Yes.
And why would they open as a favorite here? That's just kind of how I was looking at it. And other than that, I told you I want to kind of stay away or fade these teams that have a game the next day. That would be Indiana. They probably save a little bit of energy for tomorrow. And I think a lot of people are betting the Pacers because they think Sabonis is going to play. And we'll see how much of a difference it makes. But one thing I do know is Thunder have been playing better defense than Indiana. Indiana's the second worst defensive rated team in the last 5 games. Thunder just outside the top 10. So I'll take the more rested team in the Thunder, 3 days rest compared to 1 for Indiana. And with Indiana also playing tomorrow, give me Thunder to win this game.
All right, next up, we've got Denver, New Orleans. Denver, 4.5-point road favorites, 218.5 the total in this one. We've got the Nuggets on this road trip right now. That's third game of the trip, beating Detroit 110-105, beating Brooklyn on a back-to-back 124 to 118 in that game. That being said, Denver got a lot of breaks against Brooklyn. The fact that there was no Kevin Durant, there was no Kyrie Irving, there was no James Harden. I mean, they got everybody out essentially for the Nets in that game the other night, and Denver was able to take advantage of it. I actually think this kind of looks like a dangerous spot for Denver, if you ask me. I know the Pelicans are hit or miss, but they did beat the Pacers and the Knicks, a couple of games ago. They had an early lead against Boston, let it slip. They've had some better results, especially at home. This team's been pretty good lately. You look at them at the house, they beat Golden State, they beat the Clippers, they beat Minnesota, they beat the Pacers in the last game at home. I think this is a tricky situation, and Denver's another team on that 5th game in 8 days. There's a lot of teams in that spot tonight, and this is Denver again. 5th game in 8 days for them. That could be a little bit of a dicey situation for them tonight as well. Going into this one, Will Barton's a game-time decision. Yeah, the Pelicans definitely have their share of absences as well, and the question marks going into the game tonight with Ingram questionable with the ankle, Josh Hart questionable as well with an ankle, and then Jonas Valanciunas with a non-COVID-19 illness, keeping his status in doubt. So we'll have to see how that shakes out, but I'll say this right now. We'll see who's in. But as of right now, whether they're in or not for the Pelicans, I'm leaning that way. It would be the only side I would bet here is Pelicans as a home dog. What do you think here, Skee? We'll start with you, Denver, New Orleans. We won't start with Skee just yet because we have a dono, $10 from Kyle. We appreciate it. Hit that like button. We appreciate
also Jared too with the $2 dono. We appreciate you as well, my guy. Much love.
Absolutely, and thank you as well. Appreciate the donos, Jared, as well. Thank you very much, Jared Hamilton. There it is, $2 dono as well. We appreciate it, guys. You're the reason we're able to do this show every day. All right, Skee, now go for it. Nuggets, Pelicans.
At first I was thinking, the Pelicans plus the points, and it's extremely hard to trust Denver. But you're gonna be missing pretty much all the key guys if everybody's not playing. Their game time. We'll see who actually goes.
Yep.
But if you don't have those guys, who's standing in the way of Jokic? I don't know. I just see Denver having success. If Denver loses without Valanciunas, Ingram, and I got to put them on the hell no list. So I'm gonna be looking at the injury report and playing accordingly. If those guys are out, I'll likely be back in Denver here. But I really hate playing against the rest advantage. But I just think Denver might be the right side.
So Denver, do you flip to New Orleans if they're all in, or is this Denver or nothing for you?
Yeah, if they're all in, I'm not going to bet Denver. I don't think, unless they're giving me a pick 'em.
All right, so there we go. That's what's very. I mean, we're talking about Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and JV. I mean, those are three pretty critical pieces to the Pelicans. Dutch, what do you think here? Nuggets, Pelicans.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy Eric Chang, Star Child, Eric Nisbet, Jared TG. I see you, my guy. And Kyle, no, it wasn't. It was chest day, my man. Not arm day. Arm day's tomorrow, though. But I appreciate you, my guy. Yeah, man. This game from a side perspective, it is a backward. But I would honestly only look at Pelicanos. But my guy Skee, he kind of touched on it a little bit. Who the fuck's gonna stop Joker? We're going over 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Clocked it in at -115. Went over this number 5 of the last 6. Earlier this year, 36, 12, and 11 versus these motherfuckers. The Joker's been eating. I expect him to do it in New Orleans. I like this look a lot, over 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
There you go. Joker to feast tonight for Dutch in this one. Wham, Denver, New Orleans.
Jump up.
Yeah, my look is pretty much towards the total here. We all know that it's the Denver first half train that's going to have to keep going supplying us right now. I'm waiting to see if those guys are in the lineup, like you guys mentioned. I do want those points. I do need those points for the other side here. As far as our opponents, New Orleans is allowing 109 points over the last 5 games. We know how much points the Denver Nuggets have been supplying to the opponents, just over 117 points over the last 5 games. So I think that there's still going to be points scored for sure on both sides. I just need those guys in the lineup before I pull the trigger there. But I agree with you guys as far as the Pelicans. They're also 7-3 in the first half over the last 10 games. I'm thinking in the early spot for them. And the early spot for them is well with the over. It kind of correlates with the over as well. So that's the way I'm looking.
All right. And by the way, I forgot to mention in the OKC game, SGA over points, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I do like that. I think I probably will bet that as well. I think he gets his points tonight against Indiana in that game.
I'm with Wham too. My bad. I'm with Wham too on that play. I forgot to mention it too.
All right, that's good. No, it makes sense to me. I think it's a good way to look there in that game, no doubt. Chicago, San Antonio. San Antonio 1.5 point home favorites, 232 the total in this one. So Chicago open favorites. Now San Antonio here at home, laying a point and a half in this game. For the Chicago Bulls, Lonzo Ball still out, Alex Caruso still out, Jones and Williams as well. For the Spurs, they're relatively healthy, but Spurs obviously have been a little erratic, to say the least. In the last several games that they've played, and now they welcome a Chicago team that, in spite of who they've been without, we've seen Chicago now win back-to-back games. They overcame, a couple of, they were shorthanded for a long period of time. They're slowly starting to get some guys back. That's good. Memphis just hasn't been overly trustworthy. They've really struggled. You look at their last, I would say, you go back their last 10 games, they're 3-7 straight up, and the only victories were the Clippers, the Thunder, and the Rockets. The best win was the Clippers, and the Clippers aren't the Bulls, So to me, I'm kind of perplexed. San Antonio's favored. I'm interested now in Chicago as a slight underdog, to be honest. What I like even more is the total. I think we're going to see points. I mean, you talk about San Antonio. They are definitely not good defensively at the moment. They've been giving up points in bunches. Chicago's probably going to light them up. I could see those Chicago defensively giving up some points here to the Spurs in a healthy lineup than they've had in the past, led by DeJounte Murray, Derek White, McDermott, Keldon Johnson. They're all healthy now. I think there'll be a lot of points. I agree with the total going up. And I like DeMar DeRozan, double D, over his points prop for Chicago. Former team. They don't defend guards very well. They don't defend anything very well, San Antonio, but especially guard play. DeMar DeRozan should have a good night. I think his prop is probably worth a look in this game against the San Antonio Spurs. You can find that currently at about 20, it looks like 28.5, I believe, with that prop. So definitely take advantage. 25.5, I should say, with DeRozan. I think he gets over that number. Skee, what do you think here, Bulls and Spurs?
That's one of those fishy lines, and I kind of learned my lesson already betting these games. So maybe somebody gets announced out late, something like that. I'm just gonna stay out the way and just watch.
Yeah, it could be. Wait and see. You never know with the NBA tomfoolery. You never know. You might hear something right before tip-off. Dutch, what do you think here?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Banana Grapes liking the Bulls. And then on the other side, our guy Lip Picks liking the Spurs first half. So, against the numbers show out there first half there for the Spurs. But to me, man, I can't lie to you. This game takes me right back to where I was about an hour pre-show. One of my good friends came to town. I ain't seen him in a while, about 6 months from Cali. And of course, he's one of them motherfucking backwoods smokers. Comes through, rolls up this exotic ass Gary Payton. And I'm like, man, you don't want to put that in the raw, bro? I roll my raw. You know how we do. And, of course, I ain't going to lie to you. I hit it one time, and I regretted that motherfucker. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen if I bet the Bulls tonight. I might regret that motherfucker. Our guy Mark Nick said, Papa Bitch's birthday. Them boys probably will come to play. They're going to come to play for anybody. They come to play for Coach Pop. So I'm going to stay off this game. I'm back with it, but it is an exotic as a motherfucker backwood.
There you go, an exotic backwood. You're right.
It's little story time for y'all too.
Very curious that Chicago is now the dog in this game, as Skee alluded to. Wham, what do you think?
Well, shit. I mean, we talking about birthdays. I think I'm one of the ones that could describe a terrible birthday with the Lakers, with my recent birthday that we seen here. But we could talk about maybe planning ahead, man. I think Plop will plan ahead. As far as DeRozan, it's kind of interesting to see how he plays certain players that he considered elite, how he had Westbrook just continue to drive, cutting off the lanes. One of the games that I remember here. This team in San Antonio Spurs, they're pretty good in net rating. They're 7th in net rating. They're pretty good offensive rating. One of the top 10 teams in there as well, 8th in that regard. You did say it, though, Ian. They give it up in the paint consistently for the year. One of the bottom 5 teams over the last 5 games and for the season there in that regard as well. I think this team probably missing a lot of guys, too many guys, of course. They've been missing people for how I don't remember how long, for a long time there. So they may be just a little outmatched. As far as the Spurs, they're 7-3 ATS as home chalk, as Teddy Covers will say. Shout out to Teddy Covers there. I'm gonna stay away from this game. I think it may be something a little fishy, like Skee said. It's just a little too much variables here in this game. It's so many games, too many variables in this one.
Yeah, how about the next game? There's some variables in it too. Minnesota and Phoenix. We've got the Suns 9-point home favorites, 230 the total. The variables are Minnesota back-to-back. They lost at Golden State last night, and they suffered some injuries along the way. Pat Bev didn't play last night against Golden State, his 3rd straight game that he's missed. But D'Angelo Russell, suffered a shin injury last night during the game against Golden State. And now his availability tonight is in question. Jared Vanderbilt as well picked up a foot injury last night. Game time decision for the Timberwolves. So who's going to be on the floor for them is a question on a back-to-back on the road. Suns, we've talked about the rest advantages a lot. They've got that obviously tonight going into this game against Minnesota. They continue to roll. It's a pass for me. I think I get a little worried about laying this many with Phoenix if Minnesota's got everybody available tonight, but we don't know if that's the case. And with that not being the case, that takes away any interest for me for Minnesota. So backwood for me. Doubt I bet this game without knowing who's going to be involved for the Wolves. Wham, what do you think here? Wolves Suns.
Yeah, man, there's no way I'm backing the Wolves after what you've seen with D'Angelo Russell out of the game. They pretty much collapsed. Couldn't really do too much offensively there. I think without him in the lineup, it's going to be a big blow for sure. I do like Ant-Man, of course, but I think it's just a little too much for him. It's a little premature. As far as Cat, he did ball out. He did get to his points. So he did do what he had to do there as far as there. So I probably would lean towards Cat, if anything, for him to go off again, maybe even have a 35, 40-point game today. One of those regards. But other than that, that's the only way I'm thinking here in this game. I just can't find my way to do anything but bet Phoenix here. They already show that they can beat teams, but by wide margin so far this year, especially at the house. I don't want anything to do with the Timberwolves. So it has to be the 8.5 here or nothing.
Yeah, by the way, everyone's concerned about Phoenix lately, and I've heard it that, the center position, the front court's decimated. McGee, Kaminsky, DeAndre Ayton's going to be out again, and obviously Campaign is still out for the Suns as well. They are short-handed, especially in the front court, but let's give a little love to B squared. And a Bismack Biyombo here for the Phoenix Suns. What a game the other night. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks against the Jazz. He played well. This guy's capable. He's not some stiff. I remember the Raptor playoff run a few years ago. He made some plays. He had some nice minutes for them.
Yeah.
The guy can play a little bit. $15 dono from Chill Will. We appreciate. There we go. Thank you, Will. We appreciate that. $15 dono. Much love. Thank you so much for that. No doubt about it. Dutch, Minnesota, Phoenix.
Yeah, man. This game, hey, real quick, shout out to our guy, John Mack. And I do see the chat, like, hey, man, if you sparking up, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on nobody. If you sparking up, I ain't mad at you. But our guy, Davy Jones, he said it best, man. Paper planes over everything. Now back with this bitch, please.
All right, Skee,
Yeah,
Timberwolves, Suns.
I like this game. And for Phoenix, they got the rest advantage. They're at the house. Timberwolves just played last night. Last 2 weeks, Suns are 7-0, straight up, 5-2 against the spread, winning by an average of 13 points per game. The Timberwolves on the road versus competition, 60% win teams are better. They are 1-8 straight up, losing by about 10 points per game. So, I think the Suns win this game by double digits by margin. And all the guys on the injury report, they've been out for a while. Like, I get McGee's played a game here and there, but like you said, Biyombo, he's more than capable of playing when he's called upon. And also they got Smith out there too. So I like the Suns tonight as far as the spread. If I got to play, or for the total, I did also play first half under 118. And, Minnesota, their offense is a lot worse without Russell. He got injured last game. I don't think he's going to play today. We'll see. It's not official, but I don't think he's going to play. And then, this is just a number that the Suns haven't really been reaching this season. And even for the Timberwolves, as high scoring as they've been, they haven't been reaching 118 either. So I think it's too high in the first half, and I like the Suns on the full game.
All right, Suns -8.5 and the first half under here for Skee with the Wolves and the Suns. All right, final game on this Friday card, New York, Milwaukee, the Bucks, 9-point home favorites, 216.5 the total. I thought Cleveland could hang with Milwaukee the other night. I did not think Cleveland was going to blow them out like that. Just that's either really impressive by the Cavaliers or horseshit, as Jim Morris Sr. would say, horseshit by the Milwaukee Bucks, which isn't. But they just weren't that great in that game. They end up losing to the Cavs the other night. So now they'll look to bounce back. Long term, they've been a good bet off a loss. Not so much this year, though. They've been going into losing streaks this year. New York, has been really rough for them. 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games. The only win was against the Clippers. They got pounded by Miami. They lost at Cleveland. They lose to the Pelicans at home. That was a brutal game. I remember that for them. They lose to Minnesota. They lose at home to Charlotte. Wow, these are 2 teams that are just so tricky to trust. I just say take the points. In a game where I don't trust either team, take the points. That's what I would do. I would lean New York here, +9. But do I love it? Hell no. But I lean New York here. In a game where I don't trust either team, I would just lean to taking the points. Skee, what do you think here? Knicks, Bucks.
Yeah, I don't love this game either, but I think, I like the Bucks more than I like the Knicks, and the Bucks at the house. I think I would probably go Bucks first half. I think that's been the most consistent thing or most consistent way to look at it. So that's what I'll lean on here.
Yeah. Cleveland's a good team. I mean, that was a bad game by Milwaukee, but you have to remember Cleveland I think we're figuring it out now. Cleveland's a pretty good team, and they don't seem to be going away either. Dutch, what do you think here with Knicks Bucks?
Yeah, man. Well, my first glance, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought it was gonna be a smash spot for here for the Bucks. I was looking at first quarter, first half. But then, of course, our guy right here, Ron Crawford with the spreadsheet play of the day is the New York Knicks. And then I started to think, man, really do I want to bet on this team, Milwaukee, that really just, plays when they want to? And I don't really need to because I got enough action today. So, to me, this is an exotic backwood. I really only looked Milwaukee early. But I'm not stepping in front of Ron Crawford and them numbers. This is a beautiful thing. So I'll sit back, watch. And, I just don't trust Milwaukee, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a couple questionables for Milwaukee. Rodney Hood, he's been questionable on the injury report for 3 years running, so that's not a shock. Rodney Hood and Wesley Matthews, game time decision as well. But they do get Grayson Allen back. He served, I should say, the 1-game suspension for that play in the Chicago game that had Billy Donovan pretty pissed off. I remember that. So he'll be back tonight for the Bucks in this one. Wham, what do you think here, Knicks Bucks?
Yeah, man. You know what? This game, I don't think it's that difficult. I don't think it's that difficult. It's one team that's not going to play that much offense, that can't really rely on offense. And it's another team that's at the house that's going to definitely do what they want to do. I would say this, though. This Knicks team is a lot better of an opponent in the paint. So maybe that was the thing that caught the Bucks off guard. That, you know, the paint wasn't as free as they normally get there. So I think this game, depending on the individual play of certain guys, I think they're going to be up for this game for sure. I don't think you can just walk into a damn thing with chicken wings, play around, and not come out and just try to smack the shit out of the next opponent, especially when it's the Knicks. I'm not going to say the Knicks is just trash, but, you know, compared to this team, it's an upper, you know, it's levels to the shit, like Dutch would say. It's levels to the shit. And I believe that this is definitely a different level. I'm on the Bucks first half. It's a late night cap game. This got to be an add-on game, too. I want to ask Ian, is this an add-on game or something? Because at 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast, this is definitely something that
it's for ESPN. It's
yeah,
for ESPN.
okay.
That's why that's ridiculous, though. I mean, it's 9 p.m. in Milwaukee, and they're starting at
Right.
9 p.m. locally for the home team. I mean, it's crazy, but they do anything for television.
Hey, this is going to be a great game. I think this smash spot for the Bucks. Bucks first half -5. That's what I'm rocking with.
There you go. Bucks -5 first half for Wham in this one. Great stuff from everybody. Great show. 363 live viewers. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. We got best bets, Dutch's freshest look coming right up. Southtown 101 when you're in San Antonio, Texas, and a lot of us will be there in a couple months. Stop in, great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase, Lawnmower 4.0 or any Manscaped product, 20% off, promo code PubSports. MyBookie.ag, great time of year, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, NFL Conference Championship Sunday as well. Sign up for an account, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit, MyBookie.ag, promo code PubSports. And the Pub Rub, $14.99, 2 for $25. Get it. And check it out on the website, pubsportsradio.com. Connor Mack, Maxwell Smart, Net Profit College Basketball coming up right after us. First, though, best bets. We'll start with Wham today. What do you like for best bet?
Let's go. Let's go back to the well with the best bet here. It's going to be Amir Coffee over 12.5 points. I think Ty Lue know who he could trust here. So let's keep going with the young boy. Let him get his stats. Amir Coffee over 12.5 points. Hitting that money, that's at plus money as well. Plus 102, even money at some spots.
There you go. Amir Coffee over 12.5 points. LA Clippers. Best bet for Wham in this one. Dutch, will go to you. Freshest look.
Yeah, man. Freshest look. I can't lie. I'm feeling kind of grimy. It's Friday night. We about to hit a late night lick. And we're better than motherfucking Grind City. Later motherfucking 5. Believe it. It's good money.
There you go. Memphis minus the spot. Minus the 5 against Utah. Best bet for freshest look for Dutch. Wham. Skee. Best bet.
Simple. You know, Pacers laying points. Absolutely not. Especially on the road, they've only won 5 games. Give me the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? 3 days rest at the house. Fade the Pacers, man. Pacers play tomorrow too. Give me OKC tonight.
There you go. Oklahoma City +1 against Indiana. There you go. Best bet for Skee on this Friday card. My best bet is going to be, I'm going to go with Chicago and San Antonio over 232. I think I'm going to go with the total here. I could see the Spurs really playing well tonight. It is Pop's birthday, offensively at least, because that's their strength. They don't stop anybody, though. And you got the Bulls rolling into town. I like DeMar DeRozan's over 25.5 points prop. It's probably my favorite player prop tonight as well in this game. But I'll go with the total here. Over 232, Chicago, San Antonio. For my best bet for this Friday NBA card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Up. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't done so already. We got Connor and Max coming up with Net Profit College Basketball. And don't forget the Saturday College Basketball Net Profit show with me and Connor tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. So join us for that. For Skee, for Dutch, for Wham, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the NBA. Enjoy the football and everything else. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again on Monday for a brand new week, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Actually, I'm a man of the people. And since we hit that 200, it's muchly appreciated. Skee, my guy, take us home.
No, not today, man. I ain't had no food. I'm not feeling it. It's not today.
Right.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Tell him settle down.
He's doing the old turning you down.
Hey, you seen me all show, man. I barely got enough energy to make it through the show.
I did it just because of that. Hey, y'all remember what Skee did to y'all motherfuckers? Hey, the stuff's better when it's not. You know where it's at, Pub Sports Radio. Hey, stay motherfucking fresh on this beautiful ass weekend. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, but stay bring these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.